Obispo, California. Hello.
Yes, hello. I'm wondering what a staffer would do besides go to the press in Washington. My daughter has just left there after working for a prominent senator and could not get through with her problems at all. And the only thing she could have done was go to the press, and she chose not to do it out of respect for him.
Or she had a story to tell, but out of respect for the person she worked for, she didn't tell it.
That's true.
Well, now, but these are the people who do come to the Lois Romanos, right? The staff worker who says, I want to let you know about what's going on, either with my boss or the guy down the hall.
And a lot of these people have a sense of obligation. They feel that this public official should be accountable if it's something wrong.
They're whistleblowers to the press.
Exactly.
Hey, folks, that's a CNN clip that you can't see on CNN today. You got to come to Newsmax TV to see that CNN clip. Clip of the mother of Tara Reade, a woman who has accused Joe Biden of sexual assault. She phoned into Larry King Live in '93 on CNN, alluding to sexual assault claims made by Miss Reade, who was working as a staffer for Biden at the time. Joined now by Jessie Jane Duff. She's a retired Marine gunnery sergeant and serves on the advisory board for Women for Trump, and a Newsmax contributor. Also joined by Kelly Sadler, former special assistant to President Trump. She's the communications director at America First Action Super PAC. Thank you both for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jesse, CNN is being blasted for hiding their own archives. Meanwhile, that episode of Larry King has disappeared from the Google Play Store. Your thoughts on that?
You know, I just cannot get over how the press doesn't want to cover anything derogatory about Joe Biden. To me, this is just reprehensible. I mean, we can go all the way back to when George Bush was running for office. And remember, at the last minute in the second hour, we had an allegation that came out that he had had a DUI. And these are things that Fox News covered. So why is it CNN is afraid of covering the Democratic Party? I mean, back when I was on active duty, we used to call it the Clinton News Network. I mean, that's seriously what we called it, because it was always very pro-Clinton. And I was on active duty and he was the commander-in-chief. But what now we're seeing is that they want to never expose the truth. They want to ensure that they can get their puppet in there and have the puppet masters run him while he's president of the United States, should he even win this re-election or this election. But what it boils down to is that the American people are thinking, who the heck wants this guy as president? He obviously shows no recollection of his own past behaviors, and he's showing no recollection of where he's at presently today. So it's tragic that our coverage is like this.
Well, Kelly, I got to ask you, because, you know, it's not lost on me that Mr. Biden has a long history of kissing up to communists like the Chinese. So, too, does Google. Maybe that explains why Google is protecting Joe Biden. They both love themselves some backstabbing, filthy communist government. What do you think?
Well, I mean, I think that 18 months ago today, Time magazine had a cover of Christine Blasey Ford and said that her bravery is going to have a lasting impact on the Me Too movement. Well, I mean, flash forward 18 months, didn't last too long. You had the New York Times that did what they said was an exhaustive story on Tara Reade, and they couldn't find anyone to collaborate what she said was true. Leave it to Business Insider. They found two women willing and ready to go on the record saying that they believed Tara Reade and that she came to them back in the 90s. One was her next door neighbor. Where are these mainstream news media when it comes to Democrats and misconduct in the office? Remember when it was Bill Clinton, it was Drudge who broke Bill Clinton's scandal. When it came to John Edwards, right, it was the National Enquirer. The mainstream media is completely absent in this, and the hypocrisy is just so blatant.
Oh, wait, I got it. The folks over at CNN said, we looked into this, we did a Google search, and we couldn't find anything. Of course, Google is protecting, anyway, look, let me get into Hollywood, because we all know during the whole Me Too thing that Alyssa Milano and her big mouth, they couldn't shut her up. Now, all of a sudden, here comes her guy, Joe Biden, being accused of sexual assault, and the only charmed sister, for those of you who know the reference to the TV show, is Rose McGowan. She stands up and says she stands behind Tara Reade. She believes women, but Alyssa Milano, Jessie Jane Duff, she's nowhere to be found.
Well, Alyssa knows that she's wrong on this. She knows that she doesn't have a leg to stand on, so to speak. But what she's going to try to do is spin it any possible way. The hypocrisy is making Americans sick to their stomachs, the nauseum of this, because what we saw Brett Kavanaugh go through when we watched how they took somebody who couldn't even remember when she met him, couldn't remember the date of the party, could never remember reporting it to anybody, her own family contradicted her reports. And yet we're sitting here now trying, we have a credible accuracy according to where it happened, when it happened. It was reported to the police. We have multiple people who have remembered in the 1990s when she repeated the story, yet Tara Reade is discarded. Democrats, you've got a serious problem. Not only do you try to promote women, but yet you turn around and put somebody up on the ticket that has had a horrible relationship with women. There are 4 other allegations out there of women who have put their name out there, not anonymously, against Joe Biden. Joe Biden not only is discredited by this, the Democratic Party have become absolute hypocrites, claiming that they're the party of minorities, women, and yet here they are putting forward the oldest guy on the ticket is Joe Biden. It's just mind-blowing.
Yeah, well, you know what? And Kelly, about that, I mean, none of the women who claim to be champions for women who want to be Joe Biden's vice presidential pick, none of them are standing up for women. I set it up in the beginning of the show that CNN and Google are saying, screw you, me too. But so are these so-called women who are running for vice president. They say, I guess all women are to be believed unless you're accusing a Democrat man. It seems to be the standard.
Yeah, absolutely. Stacey Abrams, who basically has been, campaigning to be Joe Biden's vice president, went on 2 Sunday talk shows just yesterday. Was she asked a question about Tara Reade's allegations? She was at the forefront when it came to Brett Kavanaugh, saying that all women should be trusted, all women should be believed. Kamala Harris said on the campaign trail when she was running against Joe Biden that she believed Joe Biden's accusers. But just today, she did a town hall with him where the topic never came up. So the hypocrisy of these women who were just hurling accusations, unfounded accusations against Brett Kavanaugh, and their silence today when it comes to Joe Biden just shows you how corrupt and disgusting the mainstream media is, but also the Democratic Party establishment.
Yep, if these Democrat socialists in and out of the basket of biased press, if they didn't have double standards, they'd have none at all. Ladies, thank you very much. Appreciate the time as always on the Salcedo Show.